This is Eldritch Buds, an actual play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast. What's up, Eldritch Buddies?
What up, buddy?
Sitting at the virtual table with me today is Scott.
Sneaky, stealthy, and now level 4, Cambrio Voss.
Wills.
Coincidentally, also level 4 Zed.
Speedy.
The legendary gladiator, level 4 fighter bard, Jode.
And Josh.
Jinxie, the Loxodon druid, who thinks he's level 4, but asked the mind chat and no one got back to him.
And I am your Mildred murdering DM, Connor.
Previously on Eldritch Buds, our heroes return to the Erasmus estate after a long day's journey to Beaumont and back. After talking to John and informing him about the eventful day, our heroes head off to bed, only to be awoken by a loud alarm beckoning them back to Bowton. Upon arriving, they notice that the post office is on fire. John, quickly realizing that this is a ruse to get him away from the estate, rushes our heroes back home. But our heroes are too late. They arrive back to a ruined mansion after an attack by a group of hooded figures. Emily has been taken. Who could do such an atrocity? Where could they have taken Emily? Let's find out.
On that note, what a heavy note to pick up on. Emily is gone. Mildred is dead. Korg is bleeding out on the stairs. And a lot of stuff is happening. What do you guys want to do?
Okay, so mind chat. Refresh me. Is Zed in it currently?
Yes. The reason why Jinxie
right.
does not know about his level is because he is just not in the mind chat. So he's asking his own brain, and no one is responding because there's nothing there.
And yeah,
All right.
just looking for
Not a
a
lot of
wall to
brain
bounce
there.
off of. No, nothing.
Okay.
Chode, quick to the stairs. Korg's bleeding out. We need help.
Oh shit. Alright, I'm coming.
Alright.
I'll make my way to the stairs.
Sure, yeah. So we'll just say
I was just in the
Actually-
kitchen, so
I've
I don't know
actually
how
done
close
some
that is,
some
but-
pre-rolls before this. I did some math, and I figured that it would take about 2 turns to get to line sight from Jode to heal this guy, seeing as how you're the only person in the party with healing spells.
Unless anyone else somehow in the well of their soul, in between this moment and the last moment, learned the ability to heal? Question mark?
That's very true. That's a great point, Gabriel.
I don't
Um,
think sorcerers really can heal. So if you're looking at me,
I can heal, but too far away.
Regardless, I've rolled 2 death saves for Korg. It seems like he is still bleeding out. It doesn't seem like he has passed yet, but one more turn and who knows. So, Speedy, I will say that you are, Chode, I should say that you are about 30 feet from Korg's body. You're at the bottom of the stairs, and you've just kind of trounced into the foyer.
wow. Okay, it's a big fucking house. I'll cast Healing Word on Korg from at the bottom of the stairs. I'll be like, "Get up, you Gardner.
Sure.
I'm gonna make you bloom like the flowers you use."
Perfect. So he does have this moment of like gasping where he's like, "Oh!" Now he doesn't get up and start dancing around because he feels incredible. There's still 3 daggers in his body. The wounds start closing and the blood starts drying up around, but he's still very much in pain.
The daggers are in his body and the
definitely
wounds are
looks like he
closing?
needs to be tended to. Like around the daggers, yeah.
Those daggers out there. So Gabriel's gonna put like a gentle hand around each one and just try to like slowly pull each one out, I guess.
Sure, you know what? Because I didn't think that part through very well, we'll say that the daggers fell out of the body when Healing Word was cast.
Sick.
Nice.
There's a whole other layer to
Alright.
this that needs to be decoded if we do it the second way.
Yep.
So it looks like Korg is okay and stable right now. He's not looking very good, but he's also not actively dying.
Aren't we all?
Is there anything else that you guys want to do?
Jinxie's gonna come around to the back because I guess he was outside, looking up at the window, couldn't see anything. No Emily. So I guess he's gonna come in through like the back. I guess that's the kitchen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way I came in.
Okay, yeah. Kind of follow Chode there.
Zed's gonna walk up the stairs towards the bedroom where John just went.
Yeah, I believe John and Cambria are in this room.
Yes.
So yeah, you go upstairs and you notice the carnage. You see that Mildred is on the floor dead. You see that Emily's chair is still chugging and on, but nobody is sitting in there. And you just see John on the floor, like kind of on his knees, but in the fetal position, if that makes sense. He's just kind of a husk and his head's down, and you can just... He's not responding to anything. He's just processing right now.
Can I try to turn off the share?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana at the top. It's alphabetical. It's not good, but the roll is also not good. That's a 7 total.
You've never seen anything quite like this before, and it's not like there's just a simple on-off
Are there
switch
wires?
on this at all. But you can flip it up, sitting...
Are there like obvious wires? No, fuck. Okay, I'll just flip it up. I'll stand it up and hope it doesn't just go.
It doesn't go. Yeah, no, it's just kind of like active and,
Okay.
sitting there. I do have, unless anybody wants to do anything immediate, I do kind of have a, over the next few hours, here's kind of a summary of what happens, just to kind of set us up for later in the episode. So unless anybody wants to do something that requires timeliness, is there anything, specific that you guys want to do?
I'd want to check on John.
Fast forward.
I assume
he's not.
I think would be.
He's not there.
Yeah, so he's over. But I'm gonna get a blanket or something to put around his shoulders and then go check on Korg.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna check on Korg.
Yeah, with Cambria doing that, with the guys checking on Korg, I'm gonna head back down to the lobby where I saw the majority of the fallen intruders.
Sure.
Noticing a band around the arm of these intruders. I like to investigate their bodies, specifically that band, see if there's any kind of insignia or markings, whether I recognize anything else about the bodies.
Amazing. Yeah. So the armbands, is that specifically what you're...
Yeah, I would say it's something
investigating?
that I noticed. I'm investigating their bodies and looking for who could this have been. So if I'm staring at an armband that tells me that, then that would be...
Yeah, I would say that it doesn't take much investigation skill to determine that these folks all have a matching armband. Now, similar to the King's Hammers, these guys have a theme of... Okay, yeah, I could see how they're on the same team, kind of based on their clothing. Most of them wear dark hoods, some with, a chain shirt, others with leather armor, just kind of all sorts of mismatched things. But they all do have a dark cloak with a hood. On their arm, they have a gray band that has, on the bottom, a bunch of waves and squiggles and curves and like these strange lines. Above those lines, near the top of the armband, is this holy looking eye. It's an eye that has kind of light emanating from it, or rays, or something drawing its attention. So that is what the armband looks like, and we can post that online for people to see, just because I'm not doing it much justice. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yep. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Face Gugati. Alrighty.
Other than that, Zed, there's not too much in the way of, gold items. It's strange. The look of their armor and their boots especially, and their nails and their hands, like they're filthy.
What
Their bodies are really dirty, like they've been outside for weeks, months. Like,
is it a common race amongst all of the intruders? Like all humans or all, whatever?
yeah, so it looks like it's all humans. but really pale, sickly almost. Like they just look, not that they look undead, but it's like these people have had a rough past couple months. Like not much vitamin D. You can tell them not many fruits or vegetables have been eaten. Like they just look kind of slimy and dirty and ugh.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else, or
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
turn to
take over with a
Jinxie.
little bit of.
And I say,
Jinxie,
so
sorry.
we're checking on Korg. I say, all right,
Oh, okay, yeah. So Korg is alive, breathing, but he is passed out still. Like he's still, like he kind of is in a comatose state, if you will. He's going to need a couple of hours in bed at least, just to.
I'm gonna look at Jinxie with that. Let's get him into a bed.
Oh, come on, friend. Let's take you upstairs. So kind of, grab him, trust Tuska and Snout kind of help pick him up there.
Okay, sure.
And we'll carry him upstairs.
All right, so as we put him into
So you
bed,
take
I'm gonna
Korg
turn
to
back
his
to
room.
Jinxie. Sorry, yeah. So he's up there. I'm like, right. Now I need you to do the same for Mildred. But this needs to be a nice bed somewhere outside.
Okay, where's Mildred?
What do you mean for Mildred? What's wrong with the old lady?
I'm glad we saved Korg, but we couldn't save everyone. If you guys will head up into the other wing, into Emily's bedroom, I think we can't just leave her there. She's gone.
She's gonna get up and like,
No.
where is she?
Cambrio's gonna turn and lead them. And just kind of show you guys where he found her on the floor.
Chode's gonna drop to his knees, just like pick her up. Be like, no. No. He's gonna start like, his like parts are gonna like start shaking, and you can kind of hear like a rattle in him. And he's gonna like stand up, and he's gonna look over because John's in this room too, right?
Yeah, he's been covered by a blanket, but he's still on his knees, just processing. He looks like he's seen a ghost.
Mr. Erasmus,
I don't.
whoever did this, they're gonna fucking pay. They're gonna fucking pay.
And then I'll walk out with Mildred.
Yeah, she's a lot lighter and like more frail than even she looks. But you take her outside, and we can say that she's buried by the party. I'm going to pick us up in a few hours, just as things settle and some of the characters that were involved in this take time to process and heal. So if you recall, you were woken up in the middle of the night with the alarm that went off. You went into town around 3, 4, 5 in the morning, hard to tell, and then you came home to this. So we'll say that the sun has just risen, but to complete a full rest from you guys, it would benefit if you took 2 hours or so just to kind of finish up and process what you just went through. And we're going to pick up at that time. So it's around 10 in the morning now, and you can hear sounds of people downstairs in the foyer, kind of horses and carriages in the front courtyard. And if you do go downstairs to see what this sound is, you can see that a few workers that work for John Erasmus at his warehouse have come up to pick up the goods for the day, saw this horror and decided to help clean, and they moved the bodies from the foyer. They started to clean up. So some of this trauma is starting to be dealt with. John has mentioned to all of you that he wants to meet in his study, which is in the west wing. None of you have ever been up in this upper corridor, aside from obviously this morning when you were in Emily's room for the first time. do you all, gather in this room at John's request?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you're going to the room that is kind of across the hall and down a little bit from Emily's, the first thing you notice about the room as you enter these double doors is that it looks extremely tall, as if there is no end to this room. The room has a circular floor about 20 feet in diameter, but the ceiling is hundreds of feet above. But you know that can't be the case. This must be some sort of enchantment. All along the walls are massive shelves filled with books, trinkets, weapons, banners, all assortment of things. There's a tight, winding wire staircase that travels up and up and up and up. In the middle of the room sits John at a large wooden table. He looks tired, but determined. The large, dark circles under his eyes. It's the first time you've seen him without his without his fancy clothes. He's just sitting there in a bathrobe, looking disheveled. He starts this conversation with all of you by saying, "We need to find Emily."
Where do we look?
How can we help?
He looks like he's at the same time overthinking this issue and also not giving it any thought when he says, "Gentlemen, I am going to cut right to the point. I am compromised in this decision. I have a choice to make, a rather important choice to make, but I am biased and all I can see is red. So I know what I want to do, but I need you to make this decision on behalf of me because I don't know if I'm thinking things through properly. I want to burn down this earth in finding my daughter. I have a small fortune that I'm willing to give you right now, and you can use that gold at your discretion as long as you can promise that you bring me back my daughter. However, I was checking in on Korg this morning. Thank you, by the way, for what you did. But he brings up a very good point. This may have been a way of distracting me. And if I'm not also focused on my business dealings, I could completely lose everything that my family's been working for generations. This could be a way to take everything away as well as my daughter. So I need you to decide what we do from here. Do you take what I have, this small fortune, and go and find Emily and to hell with my business like I want, and we just continue until we find my daughter? Or today's mission is to deliver my biggest shipment up to Kapellon, and with that, a much larger fortune can be used to find Emily. Her trail may go colder because we're not immediately jumping on this, but you will certainly have many more resources at your disposal to find her. So, as much as I want to leave right this second to look for her, I need you for one final task. And I know we've only known each other a short while, but my final task is to save my daughter and make this decision for me. If you need to discuss, I understand, but we need to make a decision shortly.
Do you mind if we talk amongst ourselves, John?
Please, I encourage it.
Zed's gonna kind of usher us to maybe step away from the table rather than like asking John to like leave and give us privacy. If you guys want to follow me, just
Hero
kind of out
stands
of
and follows.
Just out of earshot kind of deal. I'll be honest, guys, I I don't know what the best play is here. I mean, there's no doubt that that finding Emily is my top priority in this situation. As short a time as I've known John, he's really helped me get back on my feet, and even past that, if this happened to anyone, I don't think I could stand idly by. But John raises a good point. Resources could run dry if we just leave the business, leave everything, to stop running. I don't know what the play is here.
It is tough, but if we do not act, Emily will disappear.
Well, Emily's already gone. But we could probably do both. I don't know. We don't have a set of footprints or a literal trail to follow at this point. At least nothing we found yet. Kapellon is probably one of our best spots to try to find someone who's able to help us, or at least point us in the right direction.
Yes.
More
eyes.
Heading into the city.
More eyes.
More eyes, more information, more people to talk to on the streets. I could try to hit up some of the old haunts and see if those scuzzbags look like people I used to run with in terms of their quality of life and quality of hygiene. Unless you boys want to go stomp around out in the woods, I'm thinking Kapellon's probably our first stop in either scenario.
Yeah, let's see if anybody recognizes this insignia, and I'll hold up one of the armbands that I took off one of the bodies.
Cambrio does like a big exaggerated gesture and goes, "Exactly. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about because I have no idea what that is. And if we're gonna find someone who does, it's not in Beaumont. So
That's true.
2 birds, 1 bullet."
Yes, and maybe they're a little more friendly to Jinxie,
Like us in general?
or maybe not.
Just
Better
the party,
chance football.
like just us to you.
Oh.
Jinxie, do you not feel like we're
Wish-
friendly to you?
I think he means
No,
the
not
people of
you
Kapellon
guys.
compared to the.
I would almost say, can I roll
Outskirts cities
a
like
knowledge
Beaumont.
or like history check on Kapellon bulls to see what their racial prejudices are?
You may.
What do you want me to do? History?
You can do history.
It's an 11.
You've never seen in your time in Kapellon somebody from Deer.
Okay.
You can assume one way or the other, but you don't have any first-hand experience. with
I
their
look Jinxie up. I look Jinxie up and down and just go, "Oh, they're gonna love you. It's gonna be great."
We get a deception roll.
Okay.
I'm just assuming because I'm
Sounds
so
great.
enthralled with Jinxie that everyone
Yeah,
else must be as well.
Yeah.
If he can't
Yeah,
figure out his
Jinxie-
own body, there's no chance he's not believing that lie.
Yeah.
What's level 4? Oh, of course.
Yeah.
At this point, John he can overhear some of your whisperings and everything. And he goes, "If it helps, the decision at all, I do have a few parting gifts. I was going to leave them a surprise for when you made your decision, but hell, I'm giving them to you anyway." And he puts a backpack on the table.
Backpack John, you son bitch, you did it.
I did. And then he opens the backpack.
It opens?
Dummy clothes.
So he says, "I have a little gift for each of you. Some a little bit more unorthodox than others. But it was really some of the only things I could think of that might be of any help on finding my daughter." So he begins by pulling a bundle of bolts out, and he hands those to you, Cambria. And he says, I know that your ghost knives come in handy when you're up in close combat, but I've seen you shoot. I know that these will also be of some value to you. And he hands you 6 bolts for your crossbow. And they are +1 to hit, +1 damage, but they're only 6 shots. So essentially you get a +1 crossbow for those 6 shots, and you can just determine when you want to use that.
Now, can I recover them?
Yeah, depending on the situation, yes, you can try your
like
best
if
to recover
I
those.
shoot a guy, he's dead, they're there, yes. I shoot a guy, he falls over a cliff,
Right,
I dive over the cliff, you get them, yes.
that's right,
Okay.
yes.
He does have a grapple gun.
He's trying to get you ghost
They do.
knives.
Yeah, shoot him and
Spider-Man
then grapple gun him.
Fortnite, yeah.
That's right. The second thing that he grabs from the bag is a very interesting and old looking magnifying glass. And Jinxie, this is a homebrew item from yours truly, and it's already in your inventory.
Okay, that's what that was.
Yeah. So this is called the magnifying glass of sleuthing. And essentially when you use it, you have advantage on investigation checks. But the catch is you need to describe to me how exactly the magnifying glass comes into focus. And just seeing a little Loxodon person holding a trunk or holding a magnifying glass with a trunk, I was like, well, that's just too cute. The next thing that he pulls out of the bag, and before he can do that, you actually hear a ding from the other room. Bing! Actually, perhaps Speedy will include a better ding than that when he edits this. But he says, before my next gift, Chode, can you follow me, please? And he beckons Chode, but the rest of you can follow, to the room across the hall. And he opens the door, and you can see the husk of the Warforged upper torso that you had brought from the iguana hole. And it is strapped up to a bunch of wires, and it's like it almost looks like a Frankensteinian laboratory that this thing is on. And you can see that Korg is sitting in a chair, looking very tired, typing away on something, and he hands John a small chip or like beacon or like a small bulb almost. And he says, John, after grabbing the bulb from Korg, says, Chode, I believe that you have the capability to insert this somewhere in your, and he kind of says, may I? And he kind of goes to, without hearing your answer.
Chode turns around and drops his pants.
No, he does go to the back of you, but he's fiddling around with like something on your neck, and he's like screwing something in, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden,
Kind of tickles a bit, you like it.
on the inside, like from Chode's POV, we can see that there's almost like a reboot screen. And then he comes back to it, takes like half a second. But you now know, Chode, that a GPS location has been uploaded, and you now know, and he tells you that I think we figured out where this Warforged was created. I don't know much more, but we have the location, I think, of where this was crafted. It's a small village, actually not too far from here, Mafildir. I don't know if any of you have been there, but
I believe I have.
yeah. And he essentially just says, Chode, I don't know if this has anything to do with my daughter, but I figured that this information can only be downloaded by you, so that you should have it. And he mutters under his breath, and that's your gift. And
Excuse me?
he says, now, on to the third.
Hold on.
Gift of
Hold
knowledge.
on, no. You insert something without my consent into my necks, and that's my gift.
Knowledge is power,
I'm
my
raiding
robotic
your
friend.
wine cellar. I'm
I
taking
let
all
you
your wine.
inside
It's
me.
gone. Forget about it.
Next, he has a small bundle, and it looks like, I don't know, an 8x6 inch package that's wrapped in a cloth. And he gives this to you, Zed, and he says, stick around just for a quick second. After all this, I have something to tell you. And then he says, there's 2 more gifts. These are more for the party. And again, like I say, please use these at your discretion, but bring Emily home. And he pulls out a huge sack of coins, places them on the table in front of him, and then he places the backpack in front of you and says, no adventuring potter can be complete without a bag of holding.
Cambrio dives for the
well.
bag. Cambrio dives for the bag.
Okay.
Okay, can we get
As
the
well.
acrobatics to see if he accidentally slipped into the bag of holding?
Yeah, do I belong there with my 10 minutes of air?
Sure, let's find out. Are you trying to get in the bag, or
No,
are
I'm
you-
trying to just like clasp the bag.
Sure, go ahead and roll something.
Anything but a natty 1?
That's a 10.
Ghost knives.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if I assume nobody else is going for it, you hug the bag, and he
I
says,
awkwardly played my own game of musical chairs, but no one else was playing, so I just like
Right.
I thought everyone else was also clearly gonna rush for it, and I'm just like curled
You're
up
just
on the
doing
ground
laps
with
of
the
the
two
day.
guys around his
Overcommitted.
bag, just in the fetal position. Oh, I really overcommitted.
and he says, most of my funds are illiquid right now, tied up in goods and other things, but I could spare this. And shuffling the gold coins in front of you, he says, I think 3,000 gold should be a good start to search for Emily. And he places that into Chode's hands and says, sorry about the whole neck thing. I'm a little groggy.
You know what? It's fine.
Sorry,
I'm
about
over
the
it.
neck thing. Joe's like just looking at the gold.
Yeah, exactly.
You're lucky I can't reach my neck, or I would have pulled it out already.
He then looks at you, Zed, and kind of pulls you to the side and just says, I don't know why I did it. I'm, an intriguing man. Sorry, a man that's intrigued by intrigue. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I found this the day that we met, and I don't know why I hid it from you, but hopefully it helps you on your journey. And he unwraps the package for you, and you see that it is a diary or a book, a journal. It is locked on the front with the word Hexius on the title, or I suppose across the the leather cover. And he says, I've never been able to open it. I think it needs a special key. It's some sort of arcane lock. Anyway, I don't know if it's going to be important, but it was on you when we met, so.
DM, can I get some spelling on Hexius, please?
Hexius.
I spelled it right in my book
Oh, I'm
already.
good.
There you go, guys.
Um,
Good job.
Zed's gonna look a little taken aback by this.
I apologize. I'm sorry. There's one more word underneath Hexius. It is your last name, Juron.
What?
All right, game changer. So yeah, Zed's. I mean, this is a tough time, especially for John more than anyone. So he's definitely not going to lash out. But yeah, little confused as to why he would have kept it from him. John, well, I appreciate that. I don't know what this is, but hopefully it helps me, find my way. But we're not here for me. I think we've come to a conclusion, John, and I don't want you to think that finding Emily isn't the top priority right now. But we, as a group, feel that to find Emily, that would likely take us to Kapellon anyway. It's where most of the province's resources are. We can hopefully find a few people that may be able to give us some information on the people that wear this mark, and show him the band if he hasn't seen one yet. And with that being said, what we figure if we're gonna have to head to Kapellon anyways, if there could be people out there targeting your business, maybe it's best that we fulfill the original task you asked us, and then rather than coming right back, we start the investigation from there. If that sounds all right with you. And at that point, I would have raised my voice a little more to make sure that everyone was listening, kind of gesturing towards the group, making sure nothing seems out of context of what we spoke about. But that's what we think is best. I hope you understand that decision.
I've actually got a question.
Yes.
That automaton warforged we found in the mine is what we established was causing the stink, the sickness that grows, right? Do you think that had to do with Emily disappearing?
Sorry, I actually didn't hear your question, Scott.
Do you think that had to do with Emily?
I hadn't thought of that. I'm gonna be honest with you boys. I'm gonna be really honest with you boys. The short answer, no. I don't think that it has anything to do with Emily's
perfect. Stop you there, John. Yes, Kapellon, and we'll put a pin in the Mafilder thing, and we'll come back to that. Okay, great. Major decision for you.
Okay, perfect. Well, okay. Yeah, that makes things easier for me, too. Listen, I respect the decision. That's why I brought you four in here to make it. I am obviously clouded by emotion and feeling right now, and there are times where you need to be ruthless and cold-hearted and direct with your decision-making, and I understand that this is in Emily's best interest, if you believe so. Having said that, I do expect that the shipment is about an hour late to depart anyway, because we were supposed to meet them early this morning. If you hurry, you should be able to get there before noon. Might make for a little bit of a rougher journey today, but I would get going if I was you.
Okay. John, before we go, did you, as Jinxie kind of holds out the magnifying glass in his in his trunk,
yeah,
did you find Jinxie's papers? Any papers?
Oh, that's right. Yes, your papers. Well, we've been a little bit busy, so it's not my best work. But yes, these should allow for some discretionary travel. You shouldn't get harassed too much if you're, with the right people. And he hands you a set of documents, which essentially say that you are being contracted by John Erasmus for business details TBD. The length of the deal is not specified, and it should be. Typically, the paperwork that you have has a length of time. Hey, I'm allowed to be here for 6 months. I'm allowed to be here for 3 months. I'm allowed to be here until this thing is done. But John just said, hey, he's just an employee of mine. So that's a pretty good status to have. So it's rare to have these type of papers, but it may lead to some questions down the road if you're not careful.
It'd be like if
but essentially, yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. As Jinxie takes out the magnifying glasses, trying to read it over. This is so handy.
Jinxie, are you nearsighted?
I never knew
Are
that.
you farsighted?
I guess so. Just going back and forth, it doesn't help. Yeah, it's all blurry.
All right, let's get the frick out of here. You're killing me.
All right, we head down to the barges.
Sure. So what I will say is that the travel to Beaumont, to Botan, is a rather slow one in comparison to the last couple of times you've traveled to and from the town. It does take you, just under 2 hours. It's rainy. It is sloppy. Though the rain does seem to be helping with the stench on the way to the town, because you barely noticed it this time. I would say that John would have mentioned to you that the way of travel is going to be by boat. So he wouldn't have encouraged you to bring horses. So we'll just say that we're on foot for this. And just to speed things along, is there anything that you guys want to do in town prior to the warehouse? Because the warehouse is located kind of closer to the river on the outskirts of town to the west of town.
I gotta
So,
stop
Hunter's
by
Mark.
some gnome boys.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, we got to go back to Hunter's Mark.
that's right.
I do want to say if we can backtrack just a tiny bit.
Absolutely.
um,
yeah.
We can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shit. Before we I would have been last out of the room.
Okay.
We were leaving the room with Korg and stuff in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I would have patted Korg on the back and be like, "Glad to see you doing all right, Mr. Korg."
And yeah, we'll just say that if we're jumping back in time, Korg weakly stands and wordlessly hugs you. He doesn't really have the energy for much more than that, but you can feel that every ounce of strength that he does have is going into that hug.
I just give him a little pat on the back. And then I lean into John and I go, "You have my word. If we ever find the people that did this, they're freaking dead."
And
Dead.
he looks at you with the most intensity that you've ever seen come from John, and he says, "Show no mercy."
Yes, sir. Pat him on the-
Okay, so yeah,
scruffle his head. And then walk out.
he does not like that.
Really
Yeah,
cut
so-
the tension there.
Is everybody going to the Hunter's Mark?
Yeah.
I'll go with him because
I'm
they're
gonna
scared,
I'm gonna
you know?
mention to the I gotta get that. I left the bolt there. I would just feel so. I didn't want to go. I was gonna leave it, but if we're going back to town anyways, I'm gonna pick it up. I only got one, so I need to make sure I at least get two back. So
Well, didn't you order 5?
oh, I'm hoping they're all there. But I'm saying on my person, I have one.
Yeah.
So at the very
Yeah.
least,
They should be
I don't
ready.
know these gnomes. I'm hoping it's ready, but who knows? It could be the gnome
Don't worry.
Sabbath.
I'll come with you.
Yeah.
Just for
Make sure they're done.
continuity's sake, I have the price written here of what they try to rip you off with. But what was the price that we settled? Was it 5 gold a bolt?
Yeah.
10 was the rip-off price.
It was
Yeah, okay.
50 originally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
that's true.
Now we've got corporate backing. It's going on the
Yeah.
company card.
That's right. Okay, sorry, we can pick back up if
You
that's
forget
out of it,
it.
though.
Wait. Also, did someone take the giant sack of money?
Yeah, he gave it to Chode.
Yeah. You
He,
give
he
it.
handed
Oh, and just for clarity's sake, so Cambria, you have the bag of holding on your person.
While you guys were
Like,
getting ready to go,
who of you has the bag?
Cambrio has the bag of holding. While everyone was getting ready, Cambrio gleefully took every single item one by one out of his old backpack and put them in his new backpack, and then with like a look of sheer amazement, finally took the old backpack and then put that in the new backpack.
Oh
It just
my
was like,
God.
for a kleptomaniac, this is history.
So,
It just holds
and
so
all the
many
muffins
things.
too?
Oh yeah, and he's just bringing everything. There's a bunch of just food. He's got to eat that quick. It's got to go stale, but he is loading up his life into this bag.
Awesome.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
and Chode, I also assume that you're bringing the big keg that Mildred left you.
It's
Put it
already
in the
drank,
bag!
So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I will take another one from the basement though.
Sure.
for the-
Let's take
that's
them
what I
all.
said.
I've got this bag.
All right. I'll
Yeah,
shove
anyway,
it
the
to
reason
in
I
the
asked
bag.
Cambria, if you want to add that to your D&D
I already did the
inventory,
second I
of course you
grappled
did.
around it.
Of course you did. Okay, great.
No one was
So-
taking this from me.
You enter the Hunter's Mark, and you can see one of the gnomes, and it's hard to tell them apart, is frantically filling out some paperwork up at the front, as the other one is seemingly in the back, because you can hear a bunch of like clanging and clattering and stuff.
Can I roll an insight check to see if it's Hunter or Mark up front?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna walk up. Hey, Mark, very confidently. Hey,
Holy
Mark.
shit. People never tell me apart. Thank you for knowing. How did you know? What gave it away?
It's just a gut feeling. Once you get to know someone, it's just you can learn the real differences. It's not a physical thing. It's more of a way you carry yourself. It's just
What?
something I pick up around people.
And he's like, you can see a tear well in his eye, and he's like, I was having such a bad day, but people are good. People are
I
good.
pull a baguette out of the bag of holding just to kind of offer. I was like, man, I hope your day goes better.
Oh, Tell me it's warm.
It's not. It's been in my former room for about 2 days and then in this bag.
Okay, well,
But you could make croutons.
I love croutons.
Who doesn't?
Thank you.
Now, I do have some bolts to be picking up.
Oh yeah, and he puts the crouton loaf behind him. Hunter, and you can just see like a gnome head pop out from the curtain. What? The scary robot and his friend are back to pick up the bolts.
You are an
No.
identical gnome, and I remembered your name, and you call me Scary Robot's friend. I gave you a baguette.
I'm
A
sorry.
baguette, sir.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
should
sorry,
have a bad
told
day.
them our names.
And
Ghost
he
vibes.
gives you the bolts back, and he says, "I think we decided on 5, but please, make it 4 each. 4. I did 20 gold, please. I don't mean to disrespect you."
All right, I turn to my money man, and can I just push a button on you and dispense 20 gold?
Can I
Could
just?
you be
Oh,
partially
it'll be like a-
ATM?
It'll be like a dad saying, "Pull
I'm-
my finger." I'll be like, "Hey, came
You just have like a mechanical change belt, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold my hand out for 20 gold.
Zed's gonna quickly speak in the mind chat. I'm pretty sure last time you said it was 5 gold each, but it was buy 5 or 4, get the 5th one free. Now he's charging you for all 5 at 4 gold. Either way, it's 20 gold.
I
these guys are good.
wheel back around on Mark with fire in my eyes, and what was he doing on the desk pulls?
He's frantically filling out paperwork.
So I'm like 5 or 10 feet away still, and I'm just gonna thrust my hand out, and it's a very familiar feeling to when my ghost knives come out, and it's like that kind of anger.
Okay.
And whatever paperwork he's gonna be working on, he's just gonna fly across the desk and snatch it to my hand. As Cambrio uses his telekinesis for the first time.
Okay, sure. So that happens, and he goes, "Hey, what the heck, man? Those are my personal things, my personal items."
Buy 4, get 5th free. What do you think this is? Pay double Sundays?
Hey! I didn't know that you remembered that. Just forgive me for, were you paying any more? No, I just made it seem like your crouton bread really made it. You think I was going to pay 5 gold for the crouton bread? I appreciate it, but
I was a gift. You weren't paying anything for the crouton bread. I didn't. You offered a supposed discount by taking away a prior discount.
Discount. Listen. Hey, the discount applies, right? You paid for 4. You got the 5th one free. I don't see the problem.
Okay, I'm just tired of you, Mark, and I'm gonna go. I'll pay it, and then we're good.
Hey, make sure to sign up for our rewards club.
Does he give me the shit?
He hands you a
Okay.
clipboard and
If we do the transaction, I write down John Erasmus on the rewards club. I whisper to I turn to my boys, mind chat, let's go. And then as we're leaving, I'm last one out. I look back and go, it was a guess, Hunter.
yeah! And then the door shuts and you can just hear a muffled cry from the
Yeah.
other side.
Okay.
Remind
That's why
me
you got
never to cross
5
you
more
both
grapple
knives.
bolts. Now I
Zed
have
would
7.
have prestidigitationed all the paperwork into a spiraling mess on his way out because he was pretty pissed with these guys. I just want that to be said.
Sure, yeah, that canonically happened.
Yeah, so papers everywhere.
Nice.
Suck it, Mark.
So, is there anything else that you guys want to do in the city or village, I should say, of Botan?
Head
Do we need to go
straight,
get a scent from the
straight to the
lady, or
I hope not.
I don't think so? I'm good to go.
Jasmine's
Yeah. Okay, so
To the warehouse.
cooking.
you head down to the warehouse, and there is a female dwarf who meets and greets you near the front. And
Is
yes,
she bearded?
Yes, that was the answer.
Hot.
And she introduces herself as Scruffy.
Scraffy.
Scruffy, as in my beard is scruffy.
That's how they all are.
And so she introduces herself. Pleasure to meet you. And she informs you of the following things. So, note takers, please get ready for this. She informs you that the requisition officer who is receiving these goods is a man called Vetus. in Kapellon.
Yeah, Vetus.
Smells musty, smells good. She says that she likes him. He's one of the few that can be trusted in Kapellon, at least at the receiving docks. She mentions that the wagon full of goods, or the shipment, I should say, full of goods, is very fine perfumes and material goods. So
Like
clothes,
textiles?
silks, textiles, yes.
Fragile?
She mentions that the amount base level that it should be sold for, you can net about 9,000 gold on completion of this mission. However, if you would like, she mentions that Vetus isn't the world's sharpest requisition officer. You might be able to persuade him into paying more, but it also might blow up in your face if you don't do that properly, she says.
So, sorry, we should be asking for 9? That's the lowest end?
Nine is what
nine is the
was kind
value.
of...
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
9
okay,
is the
cool.
value. So you
Marcus,
can
When
get
you said
9.
net, I got confused.
Yeah.
It's shrinkflation.
But yeah.
That's right. D&D economy.
Interest rate has gone up since we departed.
Yeah. Now here is the question that she asks your group. She says, "Have any of you been on the river before?"
Ooh.
No.
Cambrio
Nope.
Cambrio raises a confident hand as he's looking over this fine specimen of the dwarven female variety.
Okay. And she goes, "Oh, you raise your hand quite confidently, dear. Have you? When was the last time you've been on?"
I took a barge from my little village down. It doesn't really matter, but up to Tavier. Yeah, so I made that trip once. I was gonna say once or twice, but once.
Oh, well, then you're familiar with how the ferries work. And she goes into detail on how anytime, and she only has experience from this barge, so anytime something is shipped from Botan up to Kapellon, it is going up mountain, it's going uphill. And because of that, there are
water
ferries that are on rails, essentially. Now, they're still powered by, the people on the boat, but it makes it so that the barge has an easier way to go uphill. Now, the problem with that is you are essentially a sitting duck because you are on rails and there's not much that you can do. So she does say to be vigilant, because there have been reports in the last week or so of some weird things in the forest, weird noises, weird general weirdness in the forest.
General
I
weirdness,
cannot
form of
stress
duty.
enough. That's right. But anyway, that's essentially what she says. That's what she tells you, and she says, by the way, it should take you about 4 days to get to Kapellon, but that was leaving at sun up today, so you might be behind schedule. As a result, they might lowball you when you get there because they are all scheduled, because there's only so many rails in the river and there's only so many barges that can take up. So because we're 5 hours late on our departure, we might get screwed on that. So you might want to try and make up some time on your journey as well.
All right, let's.
Any questions?
That's.
Are you coming
I
with
was
us,
just gonna
beard
say.
lady?
I've got a few more.
Are
I
you
think
sure?
Gabriel would like if you came with us.
I think the
Oh,
whole team would like if we had such a capable deckhand as yourself.
Aye, sweetie, I appreciate you. I think you're just the sweetest little button, but I am... How old are you, sweetie?
I'm 30.
Yeah, I'm about 660. So,
I like a gilf.
hey, I mean, listen. I've been around the block once or twice, and as sweet as you look, I just don't
Care
know
to
if
make
you'd be
it
able
thrice?
to find my nooks and crannies that need to be, Let's just leave it there, sweetie.
Nooks and crannies, more like nooks and grannies.
Oh, I see what you've done there. And so she just says no. She works at the warehouse, and she's just making sure that you have your orders. Now, she
I'll never
says,
forget you, Scruffy.
she says, what is really important here is when you when you go to Vetus. Yes, how it works is and she hands you a piece of paper that essentially says a deed of goods. These goods belong to John Erasmus, and we are working for John Erasmus, okay? You're going to bring that slip to Vetus. He's going to stamp it and write on it how much gold you were given, and then he is going to ask you to sign off on his deed, okay? If any of that is not done properly, you could be looking at huge fines, potential arrests. It could be bad. So please just make sure that everything is signed, everything is stamped. And what's very important is every time I've been given one of these, and I'm sorry for going in and out of the accent, it's hard. Every time she's been given one of these deliveries, she has to bring the gold right back to John's house immediately. She's not sure if he's given you the same instruction though. And with that, she says, I don't want to get any more wet than I already am because of the rain, sweetie. And she's looking at you, Cambria.
Cambria immediately perked up and then perked back down.
And then she goes, best
Keep it
of
in your
luck, and
pants.
make sure you have the barge back in about 8 days, because that's about as long as you're going to need.
Yeah, so we're definitely bringing the barge back.
Well, I mean,
that
worst case scenario,
seems
we'll just ship it back on the rails. But
a
any
river.
damage
To
will
be honest,
be
it doesn't need to
liable
go on the
for.
rail theoretically if it's going downriver, because that's how rivers work.
Yeah, but you know what? It takes too much engineering to get it back on the rail if you're going off and on every day, every up and down. So it's just more cost effective to keep on the rail.
I don't want my last memory of you to be arguing.
You're right. Thank you for this. You reminded me of when I was young, just a wee lass.
Just
And then she goes, she leaves.
I'm gonna do
so-
the
I
blood
like
version
plus
of
bet her
dry
like
heaving.
just like her essence leaving.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are now officially adventuring.
In
You
love.
guys are off. You can do whatever you want as long as it's the thing that we agreed to. And
Well,
that
Let's
is
pirate this shit
yeah.
Railroad
on a rail. I mean,
You're literally on a railroad. This is my joke for today. So you get on the blarge, I'm assuming?
the blarge.
The blarge?
Yeah,
Yes.
I get right on that
Orky,
blarge. It's a fancy
Yeah, so-
barge. It's a blarge.
It's been preloaded for you. So there are 4 huge boxes that have the different textiles in it. It's very easy to use this barge. There's a lever near the back. You push forward, it's going to go forward. You push back, it's going to go backwards. If you leave it in the middle, it's going to stop. That's all you need to know.
is there any like cabin or covered? What kind of?
No, so it is open, like it's
Okay.
it's flat, but underneath there are small quarters that are about 5 feet tall. It's very cramped, but
Yeah.
yes, there are beds down there, and
Cool.
if you need to sleep, you can.
Great. Looks like Jinxie and I are sleeping upstairs.
Alright, well, as the only, is there any like actual crew on this ship, or is it just us?
No, it's
Okay.
entirely
I see.
you guys.
First thing you have to do on a boat, yeah, we do need a captain. I don't want to do this, but I will humbly nominate myself to be captain, given that I'm the only one with nautical experience.
Sure.
I
It's-
don't hear any protests, so great. First day as captain going well.
Gabriel, what
We're
makes
gonna
you
have
think that I
a-
don't have any experience?
You
Of
didn't
the
put your
nautical
hand up
variety.
when that sexy little minx asked us.
Well, first of all, I was distracted.
How hot she was. Yeah, I get it.
You've clearly got a type. Anyways, Cambria, I'm just busting your balls, man. I've never been one for the sea.
Tight as shit right now, man. Don't do
You
that.
humans are weird people.
Right, you guys,
Getting on
we're gonna have to
lady
do shifts
balls.
anyways. I'll show you how the lever works. It's pretty complicated, but the first time I went on, I eventually figured it out, and they were like, "Wow, that's pretty good. No one really gets it on their first try, so I'll show you guys."
Zed
And then,
sarcastically pulls
immediately-
out like an air notebook.
I put it backwards immediately by accident, and just and then figure it out, and we start underway. We'll have to figure out shifts, of course, but this is what we're doing.
I'll take first shift on the joystick.
That's the captain shift, actually, so I'll be taking first shift on the joystick.
All right, what do we think? Should we
I give him a death glare.
3 on deck or 2 on deck at a
Fine,
time?
Captain.
Cap.
I think classic nautical knowledge is twos and twos. They call
Twos
it.
and twos.
You never want to have someone alone. Right? You fall overboard, seasick, shark,
Can you
other
fall
other
overboard
very
if you're
you know,
the alone
river
underboard?
obstacles.
There's-
No,
there's
but if you were
sharks in this river?
alone underboard and there was a hole and you
This is
drowned,
saltwater
there would be
river?
no one to save you. It could be. I haven't tried it.
All right. Should we maybe split up our two and Zed is just at a top. That's
Shifts.
just a loss of words. He wants to say the two big meaty fellows, but he can't because that seems mean. Cabrio.
Cabrio goes.
I'm not meeting you.
Flights. That's what we called it in the Navy. Because I was in the Navy for a little
Can I
bit.
roll
actually,
insight there,
on that boat
please?
cruise. It was with the Navy.
Yep, go ahead,
It wasn't.
roll insight.
I was continuing
Or,
my
hi-
life.
or
that's
history.
a
I'll let
nat
you have
20.
history too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
clearly was not in the Navy. Like,
Yeah, I was just going to say, with an natural 20, you actually know there has never been a Kungurian Navy.
I
Never
made
needed
that
to
word
be.
up.
Yeah,
It's a color.
so, especially on a river.
I have been in Navy. It looks good
That's
on me.
hey, that's pretty cool, Gabriel. I can't wait to hear more about the Navy.
You will, but not on your shift now. Captain's orders. Then I look at Chode and go, first watch.
So, who's on for?
So, by the way, it's like 1 p.m. So,
Below deck, you boys got night shift.
So Jinxie's just getting stuffed underneath in these
God.
5-foot
Ew.
ceilings.
Who else is on this shit? Scruffy! Ah!
So Jinxie can't even fit
She's
in the
in
quarters,
here.
then, can he? He's about to figure that out, I assume.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can wild
He
shape
doesn't
into
know how.
something smaller.
A bear doesn't fit in there either.
A small bear would.
A baby bear.
Yeah, we
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
done
okay.
Bro
Bear
Tell.
squawking small bear.
Okay, yeah. So just throwing this out there, guys. No shift is needed until night
Yeah.
shift. But you are totally free to do what you want.
Freaking right we are, damn. I appreciate if you didn't railroad us in the river.
That's
The
more
river
than I am.
railroad? You quite literally have put us on.
Hey,
Wow, that path of the river looks
you
so much
jumped on
more
the ferry
interesting.
yourself.
There it goes.
All right,
All right.
does anyone have anything to
I'm
do
gonna go sit at the
until
front of the
we have a true? We're on night shift. Zed's not going to bed. I'm just gonna sit up top. I kind of just like walk away from Cambrio, not in like a rude way, but just like this guy's.
I'm just gonna.
I'm sticky as shit.
Is there
like-
anything to do on the ship? I'm gonna walk away from Cambrio. That's the one thing I can think of.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
is
just-
anyone doing anything before the or should we just snap our fingers and say,
Cambrio's got his foot up
Mr.
on the
D.
barrel. One hand in his shirt
Yeah,
lapel,
I mean, listen. Today can
Napoleon style, and just the other hand on the throttle, gunning it ever so slowly forward. And just staring at it, he goes, "Bring me that horizon, Mr. Zed.
I would
Bring me
say
that
that.
horizon."
I would say, again, like trains, boats do travel at different speeds, but you're going about the speed of a slow tugboat, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe, 5 to 8
That's what I figured a
kilometers an hour
railroad
type of
barge
thing.
would do.
Oh my god.
Barge is already notoriously
It takes
slow, and now
4
you just
1/2
added a
days
rail.
to get up this river. You
I
can
mean,
walk
yeah.
faster than that.
Well, it's a 96-hour straight journey, so I can't have it be too fast, because otherwise my map gets too weird.
Joe's going
So-
in stasis mode. Fuck this.
Oh, I immediately
So, yeah, if
immediately
you'd
start
like to-
seeing how much I can put. I let go of the tiller. It stays because I'm telekinetic-y. I'm just fucking mage handing it forward, and I'm just poking
Okay.
around Cho, seeing as soon as he shuts down, seeing just how much I can do before
Sure.
he wakes up.
This is
You
fun.
know,
So,
I'm-
Chode, how much can he do?
Nothing, because I'm still awake in stasis mode. So you came up to start poking me, and I would turn around and be like, can I
Just
help you,
making sure
Ghost
the
Knights?"
watch is awake. Captain's duties.
Yeah, please don't touch me, or you might be swimming halfway up to Kapellon.
I can't swim, so I won't touch you.
Captain.
Then I'm just gonna back away.
Thank you, Captain.
I've never felt so respect.
Okay, yeah, if that's all for this afternoon's activities,
Okay, bro.
You can fast forward if you want.
Can we? I guess like so. Like, I'll honestly. Does anyone else want to take that? If we're just kind of going through our shifts, can I like practice with my bolts? Is there just like an empty barrel I can find, and I'll just kind of just set up on the boat and just do some target practice?
Sure, I'll even say that there's some rotting apples in a bag that you can use.
You
for
know what they
targets on
say
top of the
about
barrel.
a couple rotten apples. Ruins the bunch. No one ever says the second half. The statement doesn't apply. Anyways, I'm just gonna go target shoot some apples.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and
Joe's eyes just roll at that.
go ahead and roll apple strikes.
Or do you want me to do a cat? I assume this was just gonna be like when Bird does his strength training. This was my passive. I'm doing something on the boat.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that's. I thought you were just specifically because.
No, if we want to have a little quick combo, do you want us to do anything on this boat? Because I feel like most of us feel like we're just fast traveling.
I feel like
If you guys want to, totally. But I mean, I've dropped a couple of
this is
names and things. This is a cool place to RP if we want. So it's totally up to you guys what we do.
Okay. I'm gonna cautiously approach my friend Chode again because I'm coming back to our monetary questions. I'd be like, did we count the money John gave us? Did he tell us?
He gave me 3,000 gold.
So we get 3,000 now. Minus expensive, whatever. We get
Minus your
we get
bolts.
9 for completion, possibly more. You need what? 20 for your friend?
Yes.
Is this a friend who's worth 1,000 gold pieces?
Yes. He's more at this point family. Put it that way. He's not actually family, he's not a robot. But we've been together a long time. So I consider him like a brother in arms to me.
Okay. What's his name?
His name is Grimble. He was my artificer in the war.
And if you haven't had an artificer since they took Grimble?
No, I have not.
So you just doing your maintenance yourself, or you?
Yeah, he's patched me up real good with. That's mainly why he got the job in the first place. He was quite good at repairing us robots. So, we got through the war together. We stuck it out in the gladiator pits together, and yeah, I wouldn't still be around if it wasn't for him. So.
Well, if it wasn't for him, but he'd still be around with us, or with you at least, if it wasn't for the Y-Rexes.
It's true.
I need that.
When we got into the pits, we didn't know that they were involved. We just saw a good opportunity to make money. Because after the war, old fuckface the king, he kind of just kicked us to the curb after doing all that hard work for him and going places we should definitely not have been going. So
Places like where?
doing places you would never even imagine. There's places out there, Gabriel,
I've got a
that
pretty good
you
imagination.
couldn't pay me to go back to. There are places to the west, and they're horrible
Yeah,
lands.
I used to have a family out that way. So,
How far out there?
yeah, pretty far west, but it does seem pretty shitty. Cambrio's just trying to sort of like back out of the conversation a little bit now because he's completely lost the track of the point.
I'll like slowly turn around to look at him.
Yeah.
What? Anyways, point being, I would prefer not to go back that way
Well, let's not go back that way.
if I can.
Where are they holding your friend?
I assume in Tavia. He was gone, so here's how it happened. They come to me. Grimble comes to me before the fight. Says, hey, they saying you gotta lose. You know me. The fans love me. You saw those kids. Those kids absolutely adored me. I, being the amazing robot, didn't want to take an L and make myself look like some grade A jabroni. So I win the fight.
Yeah, you do.
And I come back after the fight, and there's no Grimble. There's just a note saying, "We've got him." And the rest you already know. But that's how I found out they took him. And then when I met with them, that's when they laid on the price.
So, when you said you met with them, was it one of the more prominent faces of the Y-Rexes, or just a classic little street thug they like to hide behind?
Nah, it was just one of the bookies that worked out of the pits. His name is something with a, I can't remember his Bert Albatross. That's his name. He managed most of the money coming in and out of the pits. He was the guy that I dealt with. I mean, Grimble used to handle the monies. I did the fighting, he did the booking and the repairs. So he's the guy I've met with. I haven't actually seen any of the head Y-Rex.
Well, hopefully we can keep it that way and keep our nose out of it, but if time, if push comes to shove, there were a couple kids I knew, a couple of street kids around Tavia when I was working some jobs there, and they'd start doing a couple little odd jobs for the Y-Rexes, and you wouldn't see the little street kids around anymore. So, if there's anyone who shouldn't be holding someone, it's them. So if we get the chance, we'll get you Grimble back.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Ghost Knives.
Okay.
But we still have a few months till I gotta go visit them again, so we can keep our heads focused on finding these hoodlums and getting some revenge.
Revenge would feel nice.
It usually does.
Right, Cambrio's gonna kind of just now, he's just starting to get a little emotional and doesn't want that to happen, so he's gonna just kind of wheel back out of the conversation, start just barking back and says, "Alright, Zed, Captain's orders, you're on throttle. Just take her nice and easy. If you have any questions, I will be here just to ask. But I think you got it. Captain's faith."
Can I just ask the DM here? Do you need to be holding it forward, or is
I don't know. I've never figured that out.
No, yeah, that's what I was asking the DM. So I'm just gonna notice that Cambrio has left the.
It has
maybe not thought
time
about it, but he left it to go talk to Chode. So obviously we've still been going, and I'll just say, yeah, I'm just been manning it for a while.
God, so much respect today.
Thanks, Captain.
Feels good.
Jinxie's gonna walk up to Zed on the what do they call that? But like the steering wheel of a ship. What's it called?
Steering wheel. The helm.
It's a
the helm.
lever.
The helm, yeah.
But it's also it's a barge, so
turn.
it's just like a big boaty raft.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Okay, fair enough. And Jinxie's just like, "Mr. Zed, do you know where I can relieve myself?"
Yeah, sure, GC. There's water everywhere. Is this a number 1 or a number 2?
What does that mean in deer?
This. Yeah. What do
Number
you
one
mean,
is a
one or
number
two?
one is a poop,
Just
and a number
go
two
for
is
it.
a wet.
They're always poops.
It's like birds, they don't pee, they just take really wet shits.
You wouldn't say a number
Jinxie,
for pee. You're always
this
peeing
actually
on stuff.
sounds like a great question for the captain. I bet he'd be able to help you out here.
Oh,
He knows boats
yes.
better than anyone.
Captain, and it's the captain's boat. You're very white. You're very right. Very wise.
Very white.
Very
You're
white.
very white.
Oh my gosh. Very white. Okay, let's cut that one out too. Now.
You picked that up from
Nope,
White?
that one's staying in.
Editor's orders.
Could live with your Barry White moment.
You're very right. Where's that captain? Jinxie's gonna go look for Gabriel.
He's like,
I would say it's a barge. There's
It's
quite
just
literally
turned
nowhere else for me to
around.
go, but I am not part of this conversation. I'm just like looking off the other way, not doing anything.
Oh, Captain.
Turn around. Ah, Jinxie, it's been hours. It feels like it's been hours since I've seen you. All right. How was third watch?
Mr. Captain
You were watching the last third. Yes.
of the boat.
Aft.
Oh, it looks good. It still
That's-
looks intact.
That's good.
Where can I go, as Zed put it, do a number 1 or number 2?
Okay. Well, that's a captain's question, I suppose. Captain's preference, I guess. The back left corner for a number 1 off the side, for a number 2 off the back.
Can I just?
that's really confusing for you, Jinxie, because you know one
Yeah.
and two.
He also, I believe,
know.
we figured out
Just
he
gonna go
doesn't
with
know
it.
left and right. So, he has no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, so Jinxie, pretty much what you just heard is just anywhere over the side, whenever you want to
And
do
can I
that,
just
you do
ask,
it.
because that did go down, is there a wash, like, is there some kind of facilities below deck?
No, this is a medieval fantasy raft.
I didn't know if
Is there
there'd just
just
be like
below
a
deck?
hole.
No, you don't typically want
Can't have
holes.
holes
No,
in your boats.
not that. Never mind.
You would think, but
No.
actually,
So to
Like a
answer your question,
thunderbolt.
there is no
holes.
poop deck.
That was not a Zed thing.
Captain's
that was a Will's
knowledge.
thing. Anyways,
knowledge.
back to Jinxie not knowing left, right, back, front, 1, 2. Go.
All right. Do you know if I say back left is obviously confusing. Aft port. Aft
What?
port, number 2 astern, number 2 off the port side. I said number 2 twice, I'm sorry. Number 1 off the port side, number 2 astern, aft port corner. Yeah, welcome to the seas, son, and I clap him on the shoulders and walk away.
Thanks for clarifying, Cambrio, Captain.
We are still on a river. Yeah, Cambrio Captain.
Jinxie's just got so much going on. His eyes just slowly go cross-eyed. He's like, whoa, whoa, up and down, whoa, and just starts getting like dizzier. And,
Is
like,
there
woozy.
rope nearby?
I've got 50 feet
Okay.
of hempen rope on me at all
Okay,
times.
I'm tying a knot around Jinxie. Jinxie, just go, just over the side of the boat, and I'm gonna tie him off to something. Captain, Captain, we need
Yes,
we need an excellent knot here, Captain.
Okay, Cambrio's gonna go over, just try to tie a bullshit knot, and hope it just works.
Zed is his goal is to
Uh,
just sarcastically make Cambrio do all of the work by calling him
Uh,
Captain, by preceding it with
Yes,
Captain.
another demonstration set. Of course, I'll show you. Comes over, it just does not know what he's doing, attempts to tie a knot. I don't know if it works or not, I'll leave it up to you. Ideally, don't use this. Just number 2 astern, number 1 port, aft port corner, no rope.
Yeah, he just
And then
Free
Jinxie
solo.
again.
You're gonna
just going,
free
whoa,
solo it.
whoa.
All right. None of this regular solo. We're going free solo. You, Alex Honnold of pooping off this raft.
It's just that every time you tell him that, Captain, he gets really dizzy and it looks like he's gonna fall overboard. That's why I tied him. I thought, what would Cambrio the Captain do? Captain Cambrio would probably tie
Well, I
him.
wouldn't do this, to be honest. I wouldn't do that. So you got that wrong. So 4th watch for you, buddy.
Jode's gonna stand up, grab Jinxie by the trunk, and be like, just go over one of the fucking edges of the boards, you dumb elephant. For Christ's sake.
Captain's preference.
There's water around
Hold it
us.
for 4 days.
Any side. I will hold on to your trunk so you don't fall in, because apparently that's a possibility that I didn't foresee. Just go. Just go.
Okay, hold the trunk, but
Sound
be
like
gentle.
a dog owner trying to get their dog shit.
Yeah.
Come on,
And hey,
boy.
by the way, if we want, we don't ever have to RP taking a shit or peeing. We can just, we can just say that.
Yeah, but here's the
happens,
beauty:
you know?
is the
I
rest of
hope-
us know that, but we're dealing with friggin' Josh here, so
Hey, you know what? If we want to finish,
I
this
don't
one
want
out,
to. I
let's
think
do it
we
big.
spent so much more time than we ever
I
should
think
have.
he successfully poops aft
So
port.
what we're gonna do is
Fourth, that we
after a
could.
fun afternoon of talking about number ones and number twos and different directions, Jinxie, you're starting to gain a little bit of information about how boats work. And Cambrio, you love this. You love the thrill of captaincy. But as the day progresses into night, the rain that was kind of misting through is starting to get a little bit heavier, and you can kind of hear thunder booming in the back. Now that it is dark and it is theoretically time to go to bed, I do need to know who or how many of you are doing your watches and how are you going to be dividing the time.
All right. Captain shifts. Captain goes down first. 12 hours. You guys are going in 4-hour rotations. 6th watch, 7th watch, 8th watch. And I'll leave you guys to figure it out how you do that.
Thank you for the
And then
direction,
I will take
Captain.
the morning shift.
I feel like we should stay in twos, but
Yeah,
You could
That's-
stay in
that's how we-
twos with
that's how we
just
did
one
it
of
in
you
the war,
sleeping at a
so-
time in those rotations.
I feel like you have to stay up as the captain.
no, Chode, I think
Guys,
the captain is right here, and he
The
should
captain
definitely...
goes down on the ship to sleep. Is the rule.
The captain always goes
Alright,
down in the
whatever.
ship.
To sleep, yes. Except
Give, like, a
see,
sarcastic
that's picking it up.
salute.
Just your wonderful tutelage, Cambrio.
Huh, he said 2.
Is Cambrio going down?
Yeah, he's gonna go, but I still think there is no below deck, so Cameo just kind of like sort of settles like a dog, kind of on the on the just flat raft, and sort of just curls up under his cloak and goes to sleep.
Hey, Captain,
Yeah.
there's some beds downstairs.
Oh man, I wish too, man. Sweet dreams.
Cho, do you mind maybe carrying our glorious captain down to his quarters?
Yeah, I got it. I'll pick Cambria up by like the scruff of his neck, like a little puppy that's misbehaving, and like open the door to the basement, just throw him down there.
Ah, it's dark. Mutiny.
So
Go to bed,
who's got
Ghost
first?
Knight.
I'll still be captain in the morning.
Is it nighttime and like dark, or is it just getting? All right, I'll volunteer for first couple shifts.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot that we were on an audio podcast. Yes, it is dark. Okay, are you doing it in twos? Or are you doing it in solos? Remember, not to get too nitty gritty here, but it's 2 hours of your long rest can be used for
Being awake.
watch. So theoretically, you would have to do a fourth of the night each by yourself to gain the full benefits of rest and watch.
That was confusing to me.
But you do have a nice warforged on your team who can kind of always be sensitive.
Yeah, so Chode stays up, Jinxie and I rotate. Cambrio sleeps.
Captain sleeps.
Sure.
You want first or second watch there, Jinxie?
Below deck 7th and
I can
8th.
take first watch.
All right, so I'm going to go down below then.
Ah, welcome. I'm
Okay.
on watch down in the hold. I'm always vigilant.
Is there multiple quarters, or am I or we got bunk beds in here?
There's no way. Okay, it's gotta be
It's-
bunk beds if it's a fucking barge.
Yeah, so how I pictured it was just like there's 6 like foot high cots down there, like, and they're just kind of scrambled. If we want, there can be like loose sheets kind of determining rooms, but there's no chance there's multiple.
Cambrio is
down
currently
here.
struggling to take one of the cots and put it on top of one of the other ones to try to make a bunk bed, so he can sleep on the top bunk because that's where he likes to sleep.
Yeah, roll me a dexterity check for that. We'll see how good your balance is.
Dex. It's a 9. It's on a moving.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's you can jump up onto the top bunk, but you're not staying there for very long. Okay, so Jinxie, you've got first watch. Is that the case? And then Zed and Cambrio are in the lower deck sleeping. And then Chode, are you on the main deck powered down into your stasis mode, or are you staying up with Jinxie?
Yeah, I'll power down. I'll just be in stasis, so.
So, Jinxie, what I need from you is I need you to do me a perception check, please.
Okay. Am I smelling anything? As we're rolling down this.
Criminals?
Put it this way. Roll once for normal perception, and then I'll let you roll with advantage, and then if it's higher, I'll just describe what you smell.
Oh,
25 for the first
Big.
one.
Nice.
And 14?
Yeah, so
Stick with the 20.
you can see, I guess, on your way up to Kapellon, the natural world around you is very wooded, and the further you go from Botan to Kapellon, the thicker the forestry gets, because there's not a ton in between these two towns. One obviously is the capital of Tidalbrook, so it obviously eventually will get more populated. But for right now, you guys are really in the thick of by yourselves in the middle of nowhere on this river, and it's creepy because the rain is pounding down on the barge. You can hear it on the water. You can kind of hear like cooing of night birds in the foliage about 40 feet from you. The strangest part about this forest is that you can every once in a while see these flashes of like orange glowing eyes, it looks like, that blink and then shut, and then a few minutes goes by and you're like, oh, there's another one. It's almost like finding fireflies, where you're like, oh, I think I see one over there, and then you can't really. But with the 25, you're certain that yes, there are things and creatures out there that are watching you, but you feel like for now things are okay. So for the first 2 hours, you are good. Who are you waking up next for next shift?
Okay, and then after next 2 hours, Jinxie's gonna go try to make his way down to the hold, wake up Zed there, because I think that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And a little swappage.
Sure.
Done deal.
Okay.
Mr. Zed, it's your turn now.
Are you just rolling perception? Is there anything you want to do, or are we just getting right to it?
Is that what I'm doing?
Yep, you can roll me a perception check.
18 plus 4 is 22.
Perfect. With a 22, you're just as vigilant as Jinxie, but you're picking up on different things. Where he is a druid focusing more on the natural world, you as a storm sorcerer feel very connected to the thunderstorm that's happening around you right now. You can feel the electricity in the atmosphere. You can feel the rain pounding on your skin. Like you feel very much at home in this outdoor, phenomenon that's going on right now. And you do get a sense of the arcane feeling in your stomach, in your chest, wherever kind of the central force. It feels like this is a good area for it. Like you're feeling like being in a thunderstorm is like a catalyst for your magic type of thing. You just feel like you belong at this moment.
Yeah, so you're saying I have advantage on rolls? Well, there's a thunderstorm?
Looks like that.
Favorite terrain, yes. Thunderstorm.
But in terms of noticing enemies or anything like that, you also pick up on a few glowing eyes in the forest, but nothing that makes you feel worried or danger.
All right.
So yeah, anything else, or your 2 hours is going to pass?
Yeah. So we have how many hours of night shift do we have to cover?
Two more after this. So you can either kind of wake up Chode or wake up Cambrio, and then go back to bed.
Okay, so I need 4 more hours of sleep. All right, I will wake up Chode.
Okay. Chode, you are woken. You feel the hand on your shoulder that kind of
Or do I
rustles
need
you.
the benefits of a long rest? Sorry? Or, like, is a short rest good to avoid, like, any exhaustion or anything at this point? Like, I'm at full health on all my spell slots. I'm just curious.
Yeah, you would be
Okay.
exhausted
Cool.
tomorrow.
Okay, definitely then.
Yeah.
Woke up Chode.
Yeah, so Chode, you come to as Zed.
I'm
goes
gonna
back
stay
down
up, though.
below.
I'll stay up with Chode. I'm just gonna go, like, just tuck in somewhere.
Oh, you're gonna
Yeah,
sleep up
yeah.
here? Okay.
Just to, as opposed to bringing those guys up. Because Chode, you were already on deck, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah. He was.
Yes.
Okay, so as you grab, we'll say that there's like a, what's like the sack of potatoes material? Burlap. Yeah, you find like a burlap blanket up on the top and nestle yourself, and the thunderstorm and thunder in the background kind of rock you to sleep. As Chode, I need you to do me a perception check while you are on status here.
Roger. 21.
Oh, we're rolling high, boys.
Nice.
So your 2 hours goes by fairly well. You notice those same glowing eyes, the rain pounding hard. At about the hour 40 mark, you start hearing some groaning and some sounds coming from where Zed nestled up. And before you're able to do anything, Chode, we're going to jump into the mind of Zed.
What?
So Zed, as you dream, you can hear a thundercloud rumbling in the distance. You lay peacefully, focusing on, falling asleep, and you eventually are able to, with the rocking of the barge slowly and the rain kind of pittering around you, you find it very easy to fall asleep. And then, all of a sudden, as more thunder rolling in the background, you see a flash of purple on your brain. You hear screaming. A man, a woman, others. You hear the word, Hexius! Zora! Save the boys! Protect the boys while I distract it! All you can hear is words right now. Just this purple flash. It's like a fog, this thundercloud swirling around your periphery. You see, you hear shattering, explosions, thunder. Chaos has never sounded so full and close in your ears. As all of a sudden the purple starts to fade, you can see a beautiful human woman looking at your face, reminding you softly that no matter what happens, I will always be with you. She touches the necklace around your neck that has the Z on it. Don't be afraid. Your father is very powerful and he will be able to protect us. And all of a sudden, the purple starts swirling around you again. Lightning cascading off of your fingertips. The sound of thunder is ripping your ears apart. As all of a sudden, your dreaming self awakes. You are still asleep, Zed, but your dreaming self still awakes. And you see a plump, smiling, chubby man with a ruff around his neck, dressed in fine robes, John Henry Erasmus, looking over you, smiling, saying, "How peculiar." And that is where, Zed, you actually wake up, and it's kind of the sound of your own scream going like, "Ah!" And that is where Chode, you catch him waking up in this sweat, panic-induced anxiety. And
in that sleep, as I started to wrestle, as I started to sweat, as you would have noticed me first, Chode, you would have heard muttering, mumbling. I don't believe I can't pull up Chode's. I don't know if he would understand the language.
No, he
Okay.
won't. He won't. Nobody
So then
nobody would.
you don't know. You wouldn't recognize a single phrase as any language, you know.
You're like mumbling nonsense.
Yeah.
From what it sounds
Yeah.
like to me.
Yep, clearly speaking another language, saying words and phrases in another language, but you can't figure out
Yeah,
what
the
it
language
is.
I don't know. Yeah.
I've never heard that language before. Yeah, and with the muttering mysterious words, the awaking from a terrifying nightmare, we're gonna pick up next time.
You son of a bitch.
You know what?
Ooh,
That's wild.
cliffhanger.
Dirty
Spicy
bastard.
dreams.
That I didn't realize staying up top with Chode was going to have such implications on the storyline.
Yeah, I would have slept right through it.
All right.
Yeah,
Are you a thunder god? Are you Thor secretly?
Yeah, I didn't see that actually coming.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed our podcast, please rate and review 5 stars for the 5 stars of the show. A special thanks to Matthew for designing our map and to Isabel for creating our art. You can find their work on Instagram at Matthews_makings and at Laco Miles, LACOMYLES. Thanks as well to Drew Hewitt and Arcane Anthems for doing our theme and background music. For music you too can use, visit patreon.com/arcaneanthems to add the perfect theme to your home game. You can follow more Eldritch Buds news on Instagram at Eldritch Buds or on our subreddit at r/Eldritch Buddies.